I want to talk about love. It has been on my heart, and it is all about the mission of Your Unity.
I use the word unity is embracing where you are about and community around you.
And so my point of departure is always stems from my faith.
Whatever's going to happen, God's people are going to be all right. And I want us to pause and just reflect on that one thing, that word love. It's 4 letters, such a short word, but it means so much.
And that energy naturally exudes,
Yes.
and people are attracted to those things.
It's just another moment for creative thought, and I think that has to be put out there for people to understand.
We can't control the whole world, but we can control ourselves. If each of us chooses love and unity in our own lives, the ripple effect can heal communities, cities, and nations. Welcome, everyone, to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to just, oh my God, you need to fill your spirit with things that serve you, things that are going to uplift you, things that are going to nourish you, things that are going to actually empower you. It is so important that we pour into ourselves daily. It is so important that we feed faith into our lives. It is more important that we surround ourselves with those people that are going to come to the table and be with us and that are going to pour into us as well. In a world right now that's just trying to distract us, destroy us, just confuse us and confound us, in a world that's literally at this moment trying to just drain us and the people around us as well. It is so important that we take this time in our lives to fill our spirit and our soul with all things that are truthful, all things that are good, and all things that are going to bring us joy. I'd like to welcome you in to the Our Unity show. This is LeShawn Walker, your host. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. How are you, my beautiful people? I hope that you're enjoying this season, that you're marching in it with just passion and purpose right now. I'm feeling really, really good this season. Not to mention that the sun is out, which I'm very excited about, because you know how I was feeling a couple of weeks ago. I was telling you that winter was just draining my soul and just taking so much from me. But now that the sun is out and I see that the birds are literally trying to chirp, the squirrels are scampering around on the grass, that it means that it's a time for a rebirth. And I actually even moved the time up so that, even though I was, missing my hour, because I ain't gonna lie, I do miss my hour. The fact still remains is that I'm enjoying seeing the sunshine at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. So I hope that you guys are out there enjoying every single thing that this season has to bring us this season. So tell me a little about what you have going on. Please drop it in the chat. What have you been doing? And I'll share with you what I've been doing. I've been feeling myself, literally. Like when I said in the intro that it's about just filling yourself and being hungry for those things that are going to make you happy and uplift you, that's exactly what I've been doing. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but for about a year and a half, I've been waking up at 6 o'clock every other morning. I'm supposed to do it 4 days a week. I've been doing it maybe 1 to 3, but I've been getting together with my ministry, my family, and we have a 6 o'clock prayer every single morning. Well, from Monday to Thursday. And what we're doing is we're praying for ourselves. We're praying for this world. We're praying for our futures. We're praying for our families. We're setting the tone for the day. And that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half. And when I tell you there are moments that I'm tired, I'm not gonna lie, but every time I get off that call, and it's about an hour and a half, I feel so replenished, so full. I feel ready to conquer the day. And I think that's what we all need to be waking up to every single morning, is that desire to just be something else to the world that we weren't yesterday, the day before, or last week. week, for us to embark on a new journey if we haven't already tried to just pave that way, for us to just take advantage of the opportunities that God has placed before us. It is so important that we wake up every single morning just with a new perspective. And that's actually what I've been doing. And I don't know why, but for the past month, it's actually got me fired up. Well, the past couple of weeks, because like I said, the last show, the winter had me kind of just down. But since the sun has been coming out, and since I've just been looking at life a little differently, and since I've been so hungry for filling my soul and my spirit with something better, I have just been so excited about what not only today brings, but tomorrow. And not just for me, but for you. I pray every single morning for you. And I'm hoping that you're out there doing the same. So, today is St. Patrick's Day, so all my Irish friends out there, please don't get too drunk. I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. I know they got the bar crawls and all that, and if I wasn't here today, I'd probably be out there with you, at another time, because, I'm changing my ways. I'm trying to get connected with the Lord, trying to do what I need to do. But the fact is that, yes, I hope that you're being safe. I hope that you're enjoying everything that represents and honors your culture today. And we are also still celebrating Women's History Month. Now, Women's History is a time to honor, uplift, and celebrate the strength, resilience, and impact of women across every space, past, present, and future. It's a moment to recognize the voices, stories, and contributions that continue to shape our communities, while also creating space for healing, empowerment, and growth. And here on the Your Unity Show, we celebrate women by sharing their truth, inspiring change, and reminding every woman to walk boldly in their purpose. And I am so excited to be a woman. I love me. I just love me some LeShawn. And I love every last woman out there that is paving the way for others. Those that came behind them have done such a great job for me and for all of those that I have in my life. It feels so good to be in the room communing, and not only communing in the room, but sitting at a table that was prepared for us by some extraordinary and phenomenal women that not only prepared the table, but designed it, built it, cultivated it, made sure that whatever they were placing there, we would be able to feed off it and we would be full, that we would be able to take that meal and share it with others. And that's what this month actually represents to me, being in communion with so many other powerful women out there that are paving the way, not just for this generation, but for generations to come. And that is why I'm so excited to just introduce you to this phenomenal woman that I met a couple of years ago. She was a speaker at my Season of Soul Symposium. It was all about women's empowerment, how we can uplift each other, how we can be there for each other, how we can make sure that we're building legacies within our communities. This amazing young woman who I'm going to introduce you to today blessed me with wanting to come on and share in this monumental moment, which is Women's History Month. So I'd like to introduce you to Shanay Fontan. Yes, indeed. She is a spiritual counselor, speaker, and community builder, dedicated to helping people navigate healing, deepen their faith, and experience meaningful emotional and spiritual transformation. With a compassionate and thoughtful approach, Shanay creates spaces where honest conversations, reflection, and personal growth can take place. She is the founder of Jesus Juice, a faith-centered community that brings people together around spiritual formation, justice, and authentic connection, encouraging individuals to explore faith in ways that are real, practical, and life-giving. Shanay is also the owner of Sincere Sessions, her counseling practice where she works with individuals, couples, and families, guiding them through life's challenges while supporting their personal and spiritual development. Holding a Master of Divinity, Shanay combines theological insight with real-world experience, helping people navigate complex emotional and spiritual journeys with wisdom, empathy, and grace. She lives in Queens, New York with her husband, Rich, a chef and entrepreneur, and their beautiful son, Noble. Their home has become known as a welcoming, gathering place filled with hospitality, good food, thoughtful conversation, and a shared commitment to building community and nurturing the spirit. So please help me welcome Miss Shanay Fontan, who I need to be invited to that house so I can get in on that good food.
You do.
What I'm saying. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. It's long overdue.
Yes, it is. Yes,
but
it
this
is.
is the perfect time. Everything happens in its time.
Yes, it
and
does.
for a reason. You
Yes,
know what I
yes,
mean?
it
So
does,
I'm
yes.
so honored to have you here.
Of
Thank you again
course,
so
of
much.
course.
It's been a blessing to just see your beautiful face. I want you to just tell me, how are you feeling? How is your day going? What's going
Yeah.
on?
Well, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling charged up. There's an overall answer, but then there's a right now answer. So we have an event coming up. So I'm in event planning mode. And so that's always fun, exciting, nerve wracking. So we have our 6th anniversary for Jesus Juice coming up.
I love that.
Yeah, which is a community of prayer that we started in the pandemic. So can you believe we're
Yes.
6 years post-COVID?
Yes, exactly. No, I still
You
cannot
can't
believe
believe
it.
that,
No.
right? Changed the world in so many important ways and so many detrimental ways. But so that's coming up. So I'm planning for that. But as a woman, I feel like I'm in transition.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
I
that.
feel
Well,
like-
that's what we're going to be talking about today. If I didn't mention, and I did fail to mention, the title of the show is Where the Spirit is Served, Pouring Truth, Feeding Faith. And we're doing that with this beautiful young lady here who has just shared like a mouthful, because I know that's a lot, but it's time for you to start pouring into yourself as
That's
well after
right.
years of pouring into so many others,
That's
right?
That's right.
I know that's right.
That's
What does that
right.
mean to you? I mean, considering we're here to, fill our spirits, what does that mean to you, pouring truth and feeding our faith?
Well, I think I also just became a new mom last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I think what I'm trying to master right now is not holding myself accountable to an old version of myself. We all love the versions of ourselves that is the most performative, that's the most ambitious, that's the most lit, that's the most fun.
Yep.
And typically that version of yourself happens when you have the least responsibilities,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And so when I first became a mom, I wanted to have it all. I wanted that version of myself mixed with this new responsibility.
Right.
And it was killing me mentally to try to do
Wow.
that.
Right.
You know? And so like pouring into myself now and telling the truth looks like there's a different version of myself that's acceptable.
Yep.
That's good, and trying to figure out how to be kind to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think
Yeah.
that is so important for all of us to realize that. And you're right. I think when we're young, we think we have the world at our fingertips and
Yes, yes.
everything is tangible and we must conquer and accomplish everything within that time span that we've placed in our mind. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
That's
Not
right.
realizing that it's not a sprint, it's an actual journey, and you're growing and you're developing in that time. And I think I experienced that as well. I mean, I had my daughter when I was 26 years old, but I had a whole plan, and I still did my thing at 26, 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
And then, once she became an adult, once she became the age that I had her at, that's when I realized that I need to give myself grace. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And not try to accomplish or think that I need to accomplish every single task. And that I still have time now to do it. You know what I mean? So I love that you say that, and I'm glad that you're doing that because, again, it's a journey,
It is a journey.
and you're learning as you go.
It is.
So, many people say they want to grow spiritually, because I know that's what you've done as well.
Yep.
But don't know, where to start. You said that you're learning it now, how to pour into yourself and how to give yourself grace. Where do you think others who are probably in the same boat need to realize it and not wait so long to do it?
Well, I think the truth be told, as women, the first part that we have to give ourselves grace in is that we were never even taught how to be kind to ourselves. From the time you're a little girl, I think the messaging is how to be kind and respectful to other people.
Right.
So I think one of the first things is to understand that you're not true to this. You're new to this.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
like you're new to
That's
this
right.
relationship with yourself. What
Right.
you're a master in, though, is how to perform for other people.
Right.
And how to be kind and acceptable to other people. And so I think that's the first place you start. And then I think you ask yourself questions like, why are you worthy of kindness?
Yeah.
What happens if you keep giving people kindness that you yourself never experienced?
Yes. 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 Yeah.
What happens if you do that? What happens if you pray for people more than you pray for yourself?
You're
What-
depleted.
Yeah.
You're drained. Yes. You
Yeah.
have nothing to give,
Yes.
nothing to offer. Yes. And you're sucked dry.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you another thing that began to happen in my own journey. You become resentful.
Okay.
And you become bitter because you start to say, by the time you're empty, well, where are all the people that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the truth is, you have to learn the boundary of learning how to stop when you're empty. Everything you pour out after you were already empty has the capacity to make you resentful and make you bitter.
Right. Right.
Right? And so I think when you say to yourself, who do I want to be? And if it's not a resentful person, if it's not a bitter person, if it's not an angry person, then you try to exercise your boundaries well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
did you not realize? I mean, I think I was that person as well. It's like I'm always trying to fill the void for others,
People, yeah.
but not realizing that I was also emptying myself in doing that. I didn't realize it for a long time because I thought that's who I'm supposed to be. And I kind of use that as my shield, is like, God created this, you know what I mean? And I've got to use it to the fullest. And I'm not that nasty person. I'm that person that loves everyone. And I want to bring the world together and kumbaya. And I'm doing all of this, not realizing that pouring into people was depleting me in some form or fashion. But I did still realize that I was hungry for something more. You know what I mean? So in you going through that, and young ladies out there, and even older women, because tough grown women are going through stuff as well.
Yes.
What would you suggest we do to feed that emptiness? You know what I mean? And to keep ourselves hungry for it, so that we know that we have to go and feed ourselves when we need it.
Practice no. And that every need that you could meet, it doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah. Yep. Yo, she talking to me right now.
You want to know what? Because you want to know what? Things are not special, and things cannot be your assignment when you for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you can't be excellent when you're for everybody.
Right.
Just driving up here today, I was talking to my best friend, and I'm like, I don't want to have a trail of broken people behind me.
Yeah.
Who I just was able to give a little bit. I want to like execute my assignments like really well.
Yes.
Because when we're tired, we end up ghosting people. We end up not following up. We end up not being the best mentor that we can be. And what if in this life you only had a few assignments?
Yeah.
And it wasn't everything and everybody.
Right.
You know, I think getting over our own savior complex, our own ego, helps us to understand that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. As I mentioned earlier, I'm part of this ministry called DMP. DMP is discipleship and prayer, and it's teaching us that with our assignment and with our gifts, that we can pour into people.
Yes.
But then we have to expect them to get it, and then they take that information, run with it, and then they pour into someone else.
That's right.
It shouldn't be a continuous thing that we're giving of ourselves, but you're not getting it, just like with God and Jesus.
Right.
He didn't want to keep pouring into us, but we wasn't making disciples out of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We wasn't filling those spaces in people that felt empty, and they just kept draining us of what we had and not gaining anything from it, because all that means is that you're a bloodsucker, you're a leech now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in what we're trying to do, we should be pouring into those people and then telling them, I need you to take this and run.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure,
I
for
need
sure.
you to take this information and take the hope that I'm giving you, because at times is really hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take the hope that I'm giving you and turn it into something better. So tell us, how would you suggest, because I know you're a minister, you're a reverend, a minister as well. Considering that so many people are going through so much right now, and it's not even just with our friends and our families, it's the world that's trying to, like, dare I say, kill us. You know what I'm saying? Trying to destroy every good fiber in our being. You know what I mean? What would you suggest, you know, that we do, or how could we make sure that the information as a counselor, as a minister, as a woman of God, as a person who loves people, should take that information and literally let it saturate, sit in you?
One of the biggest mistakes that I've made in being a mentor, a pastor, a counselor, is not setting a time parameter.
Yep.
To make people feel like this is about to go on forever and ever.
Yeah.
And I think when you get a new job contract, or when you join a gym, you join for a term. When your money run out, that term run out, right? Or when you get a job, they say, okay, so we're gonna hire you for a year, and then there's a performance evaluation. We have to have that kind of structure with people.
Yes.
We get a mentee, and then we look up 6 years later, and we're like, they're still here, they ain't never learned nothing. But if you start the conversation, if somebody approaches you for mentorship or even counseling or whatever, it's okay to be like, okay, I'm gonna be locked in with you for 6 months.
Yep.
And what it helps the person understand is, I need to be intentional about this woman's time, because this is not going to be forever and ever, right? And I've not done that. I've not set the time parameters with people. And so when I felt like they were supposed to graduate of sorts, they were never emotionally prepared to ever have to exit the relationship or take it and bring it into the world. And so then what happens is you sometimes have like this volatile departure when people expected you to be around a certain way for a long time.
No, I totally agree with that. I think everybody needs a probation period.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You need an expiration date. You know, if you haven't grown and learned anything in the time frame that I've set aside to be able to mentor you, to counsel you, to love on you, then clearly I'm not doing my job. If you're not able to fly after that, because we all should not remain stuck in those places. And as we're talking about Women's History Month, the women that have paved the way for us did not remain stuck in their way. They were able to create a space where you and I, people like you and I, and the various people that we know and have in our lives were able to thrive. So how dare we take that for granted by staying stuck in our own and sitting in our own way? Because sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not trying to be a Holly on my high horse. Like, I'm guilty of it too, getting stuck in standing in my own way. You know what I mean? And we do it. So I think it is important, you know, what you said is to set up some parameters so that they are fully aware that, yes, I'm here for you. Yes, I got you. Yes, I'm going to do everything I can for you, but I'm not going to always be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that capacity, I'm there to help you grow. You know what I mean?
Yes. Why do we think when we read the scripture, Jesus, it feels like random times, is saying to his disciples, you know I'm leaving? Or would ask them, who do you think I am? And that question to his disciples is like, I need to make sure you're getting this. Because there's a time coming that I'm not going to be here.
That's right.
And he would always talk to his disciples about his death. And the scripture talks about how frustrated they would be. And why are you bringing this up? Or get emotional. Or, Father, you're not going to die. And the reason was he was trying to emotionally prepare them for his departure. And when we don't do that for people, we make the landing very difficult.
Yes, we do. You're absolutely right. And it doesn't become real for them either. You know what I mean? And they'll be stuck depending on you. And we can't be codependent for people when we have so many other people to minister to. You know what I'm saying? So I totally love that. Now, as I mentioned, you know, many people are spiritually hungry but don't recognize what they're missing. How does connecting with God help them fill those deeper places in their hearts and their souls?
That's a loaded question. I think it gives you an uncensored place to be able to say what's true. Because I think naturally we all have a filter on, you know? And so when we're talking to others, we're censoring the way we're saying it. We're thinking about their feelings when we say it, how they're going to perceive us. Sometimes it can make you feel physically sick to tell your deepest secrets. I think your relationship with God gives you a place to tell the unadulterated truth. First of all, because he already knows it. But for to have that truth exist on the other side of your body. But then my favorite part is to not have to be rushed through it.
Yes.
Because sometimes when we tell other people things, we have to rush to be comfortable or rush to be healed or rush to not grieve or rush to... And I think with God, you could kind of say something, and if you need to, sit in it for 2 months. I'm broken about this, or I'm hurt about this. And so I think an uncensored place without a time limit to be real is the benefit.
I love that you say that, because that's what he's waiting for us there anyway. Within those quiet moments, those still moments, those secret place moments. He's waiting for us there, and he's not rushing us to go through, because he already knows what we're going through anyway. He just wants you to speak it out to him. And what I've been learning to do, and I love it so much, I talk to that man, and I say, man, I talk to him like he's my best friend, girl. I'll be sitting up there, you know what I mean? Like I'm literally talking you and I and anyone else in my world. Like I'm being real and transparent, and that didn't used to be me. I used to think that there was a certain way to speak and a certain way to pray and a certain way to talk and certain things I should say. And then I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't feeling filled at that moment and feeling like he was pouring back into me, because I'm just doing what was expected of me to do instead of, like you said, spending that quality time in that moment. So I totally agree with that. And I think that we all should get in the habit of, you know, pouring into ourselves by pouring into the word, by speaking to God, by praying, you know, in peace and with expectation as well. Because that's another thing. People pray and pray and pray and pray, and they're just hoping, but you got to pray and know that whatever you're hoping and praying for, that it's going to come to fruition. You know what I mean? Decreeing and declaring it.
Decreeing and declaring it. I used to approach God like he was my commander and I was his soldier. Like literally coming from my marching orders.
Wow.
As an ambitious woman, you are so used to being told what to do. And when you are competent or exceptional, you're just moving from assignment to assignment. And so my prayer life used to look like, hey God, good morning. So what you need me to do now?
Oh God, really? Wow.
And so the Lord had to say to me, little girl, I don't need you.
Yeah.
And I had to just go through months of sitting in silence. Wow. Because you got the game a little twisted if you think
I need you.
That I need you. I'm inviting you to partner with me in work that I think would be beneficial to you. But I am not your commander, I'm your father. You know, and then in order to get over that, I had to start changing my language. I had a mentor once that told me, you know what, when you approach God, go there and say, hey, Dad.
Yes.
And it was so uncomfortable for me. Like,
I know. Hello, Father.
Yeah, like.
Yes.
She was like, it balances the relationship.
It does.
You know, and so it's so easy to misappropriate our relationship with God and make it about what it's not. But I think, you know, it's a soft place to land.
No, I love that you say that, because I do that as well. I mean, just like our natural father, you know, we look to them for guidance. We look to them for that comfort. We look to them for that love, that security. It's no different than with our Heavenly Father. And so therefore we should, you know, present ourselves in that way, that we're looking for that comfort. We're looking for that love. We're looking for that security, and not, you know, step in front of him and just say, so what do you need me to do today? You know what I'm saying? I'm the soldier in your army. And technically, you know, in some instances we do have to think that way. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep
Yeah,
it real.
yeah,
Let's keep
yeah,
it 100.
yeah.
In certain instances, we do, but that's only when we're fighting things out
Yes,
there
yes,
that are trying to take
yes.
us down. Just in case you don't know, those
Right.
demons, those
Yeah.
principalities that
Yes,
be, don't
yeah.
like who you are, what you do, what you
Yes.
stand for, or believe in the word.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we need to be, like armoring up to every day. But to
Yes.
step in front of him on a normal and asking him what you want me to do today is when I ask that question, it's almost the only way I'm looking for the answer is who would you like me to bless with your blessing today? You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
how I would say, who do I need to touch today?
Yeah.
And that's what we should be asking ourselves every day as well.
Yes,
you know?
yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think to deepen that, what if you ask God, how do you need me to show up for myself today?
Even better. Yeah.
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 Like because I'm your daughter too. How do I need to show up for myself today? Do I need to take a break?
Yeah.
Do I need to hit the gym?
Yeah.
Do I need to fast today? Do I need to call my friend that makes me laugh real loud?
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
What do you want from me today?
Yeah. How can I participate with you in showing up for me today?
Yeah.
It's a question I've never asked, but after this, I'm gonna
Yes.
try to practice
I think that is so on point because it's so true. It's like, what can I do that you already have planned for me that I don't see,
Yeah.
but that you want me to hear? And if you sit quiet enough, you'll be able to hear what he's trying to say. Let me tell you, I haven't posted about it. I was going to do this whole little thread on Facebook and talk about it, but I woke up the last couple of days with the word static. God has just been in my dreams. I hear it so loudly, static, static. And I woke up, I went to ChatGPT, and I looked up the definition, the true definition of what static could mean. And it relayed to me that I need to filter some stuff because he's hearing me, but it's being static. You know what I'm saying? It's being muffled. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He hears me every single day, but for whatever reason, the other things that I got going on and the other things that I'm allowing to distract me, the other people that I have in my ear is not allowing for him to completely download into me because of the static, because of the interference. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard that for literally the last couple of days, I was like, oh no, he's trying to tell me something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now I've just been trying to not only decipher what that interference is, but to try to eliminate it completely in everything that I'm doing on a daily basis. So now my question is, like you said, God, what can I do to pour back into me today? Is what can I do to clear the airwaves so that you can download into me even deeper? You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's so profound. And I think the truth about that is we're comfortable with static. We are comfortable with the boundaries and the barriers between us and God and between us and ourselves. To have just enough Jesus.
Yes.
Just
enough Jesus juice, girl.
Yeah, like just enough.
Yes.
Because I'm in a similar place in my life where last year in 2025, I asked the Lord to move all the things that was not serving me, particularly when it came to ministry. And everything started dropping like flies.
You see? Wow.
And the truth of the matter is, things that I had forcefully wanted there. Because when you pray that prayer, God, move the static, God, move the things that are not for me. Be prepared for something you love to be moved.
Yes. Yeah, I believe it.
Yes, because the pain of getting close to God is that I gotta tear down the idols that I put before him.
That's right. Things that you didn't know was an idol until it consumed the time that you could, and should have been giving to him.
And we love our idols.
Yes, we do. We do. And they're small. They could be little minions of an idol. You know what I mean? Might not be something huge, but it's enough to just create that static.
You don't got to be in your house with an altar erected with a physical
That's
idol.
right.
It could just be the fact that every time you drive home from work, you listen to double BLS and eating a Snicker, and you could be praying and drinking your green juice.
Exactly.
It could be anything.
Something just
yeah,
that
so
small. Yes.
that you've been doing for years. And the Lord is like that too.
That's right.
I need that too.
Anything that you've turned into a habit, anything that you've turned into an addiction, anything that you've turned into a need in place of something that could be more filling to your spirit and feeding your faith is an idol.
Let me tell you, I was listening to a sermon once, and the preacher said, you know what? I'm not actually having a problem between choosing God and choosing bad things. Like, I know the things that I shouldn't choose. He said, I'm having a competing covenant problem.
Ooh, okay.
That I have multiple covenants, I have multiple responsibilities, and all my responsibilities are good.
Right.
But they're competing with my time with God.
Right.
So I got to take my son to basketball practice. I got to get my wife some flowers. And these are all good things.
Right.
But they're all scrambled up. As far that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. Because I'm like, God, I'm not killing nobody. I'm not. Like, all the things I got to do, I'm just washing my clothes. Like, all the things I got to do, you told me to do. And he says, but they're competing in a place where you're supposed to be able to keep them in order.
Right.
So even as you're maturing in Christ, it's like you got to figure out how to keep that for him first.
Yes, and that sometimes can be hard because in the doing, we're thinking, honestly, a lot of us will think that we're doing it for him when we're really just doing it for ourselves, to make ourselves feel good, to make ourselves feel like we're doing just what he told us to do, because I was caught up in that for a minute as well. And we have to realize that, no, there are those times, there are times and places for that, but there's more time for him. You know, and that's where we need to spend it sometimes. So, you know, the discussion today is about sitting at that table of truth. You know what I mean? Sitting at that table of truth is so hard for so many. Maybe they didn't have that instilled in them. You know, a lot of people have had church hurt, which I'm going to talk about later. But what does that mean to you, to sit at the table of truth, and how can we make sure that we're setting up? Because girl, we don't even sit down at the table for dinner anymore. You know what I'm saying?
So
how about that?
Yeah.
But how do we make it a point to sit down at the table of truth? And that's reading our Bible, that's sitting with ourselves, that's speaking to God, that's making sure that, yes, we're helping those that we love along the way. But how do we set up that table of truth on a regular basis and be committed to that, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think, well, first let me talk about why I think we avoid it. Because I think we are people that do not think that two things can be true at one time. So if I sit at the table of truth and the Lord reveals to me that I'm a workaholic, that must also mean that I don't love my children. You know, if the Lord reveals to me that I can sometimes have an attitude problem, that must also mean that I've never been kind.
Right.
And I think we have to be okay with sitting in the tension of our own selves.
Right, yeah.
That you can be anointed to preach and be insecure.
Yes.
That most of us will live with a thorn in our sides. There will be a contradiction.
Yes.
About the essence of who you are.
Yeah.
That's why Paul says every time I want to do good, like evil is like we are all contradictions, right? And I think we have to be okay with, all right, so you brought me to this table to tell me that I'm working too much.
Yeah.
Or that I'm trying too hard.
Yeah.
Or that I'm insecure, or that sometimes I'm a bully. Can I accept that about myself and accept what you say about me that's good? Or when I hear the truth, does it also wash away what I'm secure in?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, girl. You're absolutely right about that. Yes.
You tell your friend, girl, them shoes is not good one day, so I can't dress?
Yep.
I didn't say nothing about
all of that.
all the days.
Thank you. I'm just talking about this one instance, this one moment. Thank you.
The way, I see what you were trying to do there, but that didn't quite.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden now, there's an insecurity about the longevity of it.
Exactly.
Can we be okay with being corrected or confronted without thinking that changes the essence of who we are?
Exactly.
And so to sit at the table of truth, you have to be a person that's okay with accountability.
Yeah.
And being able to maintain your security while being held accountable.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think we all try to be perfectionists in our
Yeah.
own little way, which is
Yeah.
sad. I mean,
Yeah.
even with as much knowledge as we may have and as many talents and gifts that we have, we still look for the approval of others, which is unfortunate. But I will say I agree with you wholeheartedly with what you just said, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for the fact that we're not perfect and we're going to have all those flaws. We're all learning and a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And even though we might have something that someone else doesn't have and we can help them along the way, there's also someone in front of us that can do the same for us.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So let me ask you then, considering that a lot of us don't hold ourselves accountable, I think it's because we don't realize that we need to, pour back into ourselves and give ourselves that grace and show ourselves some kindness. Like, how do we teach that, considering that, so many of us are trying to take that mantle and run, to be that superwoman, to make sure that we don't let our ancestors down. You know what I'm saying? To be those people that are going to continuously be those power hitters and be in those rooms and those spaces and places that we're shining. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we teach ourselves to sit down and to literally hold ourselves accountable and also, to be honest with you, to build up some self-esteem,
Yeah.
I know that was a lot, girl.
We need 3 hours.
Yes,
girl.
we do. You coming back. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. You know, in my deepest prayer time, the Lord revealed to me that perfectionism is pride.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. And that's an idol.
Because you thought you was going to be 42
Yeah.
and know all the wonders of the world.
Yes.
Or that was going to be your first day on the job and you wasn't going to make no mistakes.
That's
the
right.
fact that you thought that was possible is what needs to be challenged.
Yes. Yep.
But what I've noticed in women, particularly women of color, is that we grew up in environments where mistakes were ridiculed and not acceptable. Especially if you're the kind of person that grew up alongside a troubled sibling or maybe a single parent home. We spend our times trying to not be an irritant or to try to be an inconvenience.
Right.
And so I think when you make the mistake, you don't know what to do with it. And really, I'm learning that my mistakes are invitations for the Lord to meet me.
Yes. Yep.
And there would be no way that I could know the Lord deeply in perfection.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
There would be no way that I could experience him
Yep.
without falling. I could never be a daughter
Yep.
if I was always a mother or
Yeah.
if I'm always the head of the ship.
What we need them for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What do I need a savior
Yeah.
for? What do I need to sit at his feet and weep and just be like, every time I make a mistake, I say, oh, God wants me close to him. He has something he wants to say to me or something he
Yes.
wants to remind me of.
Yes.
And I think if we see it like that, it'll make the way that we understand mistakes to be so much more less harsh
Yes.
and brutal.
I love that you just said that.
Yeah.
Like, your mistake is an opportunity to draw closer to him.
Yes.
That he's saying that I need you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, you're doing wonderful, but I need you. I need you to draw closer to me. And then that makes you more attentive as well.
That's
and I think
right.
it cleans the veil that we have over our eyes, that we are supposed to be these perfectionists. We are supposed to be these people that are showing up shiny every day when that's not the case. I'm guilty of feeling like I'm that ray of sunshine and I always have to be happy and I always have to be positive and I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm about to.
No,
girl,
you good.
You know what I'm saying?
Be honest.
It got to the point, just honestly, within the past maybe 3 to 6 months, that I realized that is not sustainable.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And not that I was doing it for others, but I was doing it because I thought it was expected of me. You know what I mean? And so therefore, I'm masking the pain that I was going through.
Yes.
I'm masking the trials and tribulations that I'm going through because I'm expecting that everyone is expecting for me to show up in this beautiful color that I'm in today. Just so you know, because
yes,
you know, the
yes,
sunshine.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
And I had to really face the fact that the beauty of me is the fact that I'm flawed. The beauty of me is the fact that I make mistakes. The beauty of me is that I'm going through these trials and tribulations and I'm doing it with grace, and I don't have to prove anything to anyone other than my Father. You know what I'm saying? And to just stay the course. So that's what I'm thinking a lot of us are grappling with, also because women, we're talking about women.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the nurturers. We're supposed to be the gatherers, and
Yep.
we're supposed to be the protectors, and we're supposed to be all of this to everyone else, but then we don't really have that same support on the outside, you know?
And we train people to treat us like that.
Yeah, yeah,
When you never say, you know what, y'all, I showed up for happy hour, but I'm having a really bad day today.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
We train people to be so uncomfortable when we finally do need them.
Yep. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I took an opportunity one time to do that. Like, I had just had a bad day, and I was
Yeah.
crying to God in my
Yeah,
car. I was
yeah.
screaming to him,
Yeah.
because I've experienced a lot of tragedy. A lot of my best friends are no longer here. All died in my 40s, gone.
wow.
And so because of that, I've had to remain strong. And I think that's where I got this bubble of sunshine around me, because if I really felt what I was going through, I'd be up in the corner like that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I think that I put that bubble around me for that reason, but it's still no excuse, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But this one particular day, I'm in the car and I'm crying, and God, why'd you take this person away? Why did you do this
Yeah,
to me?
yeah,
Why,
yeah.
da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden my phone rang, and it's someone that I don't share too much of my
Yeah.
business with,
Yeah.
but I felt if God is letting this phone ring right now,
Yeah.
maybe he's telling me I need you to
share. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did. I picked the phone. I was like, hey, girl, what's going on? Da, 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 da. Wipe the tears. And mind you, I'm the first one to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And waiting for the answer.
Yeah.
Because if I don't like your answer, I'm going to dig more. Why
Yeah.
are you feeling this way?
Well, yeah.
So that's what I expected from this person.
Yeah.
And she said, how are you doing? And for the first time ever, I think in my life, I poured out. I'm feeling this way. I'm sitting up here crying. Da, 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 da. There was dead silence for like 3 seconds. And when I felt that, and I felt that silence, I was like, but you know what? Enough about me.
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on with you? How you doing? And then
Yeah.
the conversation went back as if it didn't miss a beat. And that's when I was like, oh, there ain't nobody out here for me.
Because we have not trained our girlfriends how to,
Oh
how to,
my God.
we've not trained them to be there for us.
Yes, because
Let-
we're always there for them.
And let me explain
Speak
something.
on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and let me explain something to you. If everybody in your phone book or your Rolodex is to turn up with, is to kiki with or get fly with, you missing the most important part of friendship.
Yeah.
Me and my friends got a group chat. Hey y'all, we just happened this weekend. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. How you doing? One friend said, "You need to pray for me because I'm not doing too good."
Good. You see?
Right. I took a picture of my son's hair. I said, Lord. I said, for real, I don't know how I'm about to get through these braids. I don't braid that well. And everybody, not in this complaining way, but was just like, and then my other girlfriend said, I'm doing laundry and I'm tired. Can we just like hold space for that?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it took me years to get there with people. But I have also experienced, like, I just opened up to you about what I'm going through, and you was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was crazy. That's why I said it to you, but that's your response, that that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? People don't even know how to show empathy, and I think they don't, because everybody's walking around strong.
Yeah.
They don't have to practice it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think we need to get out of that habit, ladies.
Yes.
As well as gentlemen, because I know,
Yeah.
you know, the guys out there, we don't want to alienate you in this conversation today. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, seriously, like, we really need to get out that habit. And if somebody in your life or your world is not sounding normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ask that question. The reason why I feel like so many people gravitate towards me is because I'm a good listener. And if I don't like the way you responded to my one question, which is simple as, how are you doing? And I want to pry into that, and now I'm allowing you to use me as that sounding board, then I would hope that you would want to give me the same courtesy. But again, as you mentioned, a lot of people don't know how to be compassionate. They don't know how to be empathetic. They just know how to share their plight, what they're going through, what they're experiencing. And we have to get out of that habit, especially in the world that we're living in today. We need each other. You know what I mean? More than anything, more than any other time I in my lifetime could ever remember, because we're all going through something and we're just not sharing it. We're holding it in. And then we have these tragedies of suicides. Then we have these tragedies of people that are not healed from issues that they could have been healed from. And before time gets away from us, speak to me about that, about healing ourselves in you know, when there's so much against us and there's so much that we haven't faced. How can we begin the healing for our lives?
I think first by acknowledging the brokenness. Again, being able to sit in tension. A lot of times when I have clients and we get to the point where it's time to start to heal and unpack things, particularly when it comes to childhood trauma or different things, there's usually this full disclaimer. No, I had a great mom. I had a great dad. I had a great. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And they made some mistakes. Tell me how those mistakes impacted you.
Yes. Yep.
And I think we have to be okay with disrupting our narratives of people in our mind. Your dad was still a good dad, even if he hurt your feelings.
Yep. Yes.
Your mom was still doing the best she could, even if she unknowingly put a complex in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your daughter still loves you, even if she makes you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And I think being okay with, like, all right, there's a narrative that I'm married to, that if I'm ever going to heal, I'm going to have to tell the whole truth about my experience with this person or this thing, and tell the truth about the fact that I still want this person in my life.
Yep. Exactly.
Even if it hurt me,
Yep.
you know, because we end up not healing and ghosting people or getting rid of people because we can't take no more.
Right.
When really what I need to do is be honest about the fact that I love you and I want you here. This is the way that you're hurting me. I don't intend to throw the relationship away, but in order for me to heal, I need to, like, address this.
Yeah.
And somebody can be your best friend and be unknowingly hurting you.
Yeah.
Somebody can be your mother and be making you feel a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I think healing is a lot about confronting the people that you love, even yourself.
Oh, yes.
Even the things you've allowed.
Yeah.
To say, Shanay, I love you, but you played right there.
Yeah.
You know?
You did that.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
you know, right. And learning to forgive.
Yeah.
Healing is all about forgiveness.
Yeah. No, I agree agree with that. So in feeding our faith, now we're at this table, we're pouring, we're feeding our faith. How are we doing that?
We are remembering the things that brought us joy as children
Yes. I love it.
and trying to get that back into our lives.
Love it.
My thing is the ice cream truck. I have such fond memories of the ice cream truck when I was a kid.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And I've tasted so much better ice cream since then. But every time, girl, you know ice cream first was $5.
Yes,
But
yep.
every time, every time the ice cream truck comes around, I find my change, I find my $5 or whatever, just to have the experience again, to bring me back to, like,
take you back to your
and take me
time.
back to, like, a happy time, or like the library. My grandmother used to bring me to the library. Sometimes you just go in there and you sit. We all have those places that make us feel warm.
Yeah.
You revisit those places. And then I think you become committed to finding new things about yourself that you like.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, girl, time is winding down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Of
for that. I want to
course.
share with everyone what Jesus Juice is. Tell us a little about what Jesus Juice is
Yeah.
and the event that you have coming up.
Yeah, so we are a faith formation community that got started in COVID. It was a simple invite of a coworker of mine who asked me to come on Instagram Live to pray because the world was in, like, much like where we are now.
Right.
And so we prayed on live and people were locked inside. We were social distancing. And this was at the time when the president was saying, oh, it's going to be a week, it's going to be 2 weeks. And then it went further.
Right.
And so we began to pray every day on live, and we developed this community. That was 6 years ago.
Wow.
And so now we are a faith formation community of prayer, of preaching. We meet on 6 a.m. on Mondays for prayer.
Okay.
And now we're just trying to have our community have more of a physical experience,
Right.
and get from behind the screen. So
love it.
this, no, not this Saturday, next Saturday, March 28th, we're having our 6th anniversary, but this worship experience in person where we get to be honest. There'll be singing, there'll be dancing, there'll be merch. My husband is a chef, there'll be food.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I love it. So
it'll
that's
be
the
great.
28th.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm
Yeah.
definitely trying to be in the building. I got a
Yes.
couple of things going on, but I'm definitely trying. Me and my daughter are definitely trying to attend.
Yes.
You also have a space in 30 seconds or less, Sincere Sessions. What is that
Yes.
about?
Oh, it's a competent counseling firm.
Okay.
I'm a black woman. I believe that representation is important. It's a place for you to receive mental health counseling. Also, though, if you are a Christian, with somebody that understands that part of your life as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Of
much
course.
for
Thank
being
you for
here
having
today.
me.
So I got
Yeah.
one more question.
Yeah.
If you could invite the world to a table where truth is poured and faith is fed, what would you want people to leave that table understanding about themselves and their spiritual journey, real quick?
That is loaded real quick.
I'm saying.
I would want people to leave that table understanding how forgiven they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people exist in shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they carry the shame unnecessarily because the Lord went to the cross for that.
That's right.
So to understand how forgiven they are and how a lot of the things that they're carrying, the Lord forgave them a long time ago.
I love
and they're
that.
indicting their own selves.
Yeah, I love that. Was a great answer.
Yeah,
you see,
yeah,
with my
yeah.
loaded question, and she just spread all kinds
Yeah,
of nice
yeah,
cream and everything on that,
yeah,
that loaded potato.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Of
We're going to
course.
put up your information
Of
where
course.
you could follow this beautiful young lady,
course,
Shanay Fontan. That is her Instagram and her email, I believe, or website address.
Yep.
All right, that's perfect. I
Yeah.
love it. We're definitely going to have you back. You've just been
Yes, of
such a joy
course.
to talk to, and
Thank
especially
you.
this subject that which just means so much to me, especially in this day and time.
Of
you know.
course, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get real quick to the Dare to Be You.
Yeah. Good.
And it is, dare to be a vessel that serves the Spirit. Dare to pour truth even when it's uncomfortable. Dare to feed your faith so your soul never runs empty. In a world starving for light, choose to nourish what is good, what is honest, and what brings us closer to God. Dare to be you, filled, faithful, and overflowing with the truth. And that's exactly what this amazing, beautiful young lady has shared with us today. We need to give ourselves grace.
Yes.
We need to pour into ourselves. We need to make sure that we're sitting at a table that others are also willing to pour into us as well. We need to feed our faith, and we need to draw closer to God. And we also need to realize that we can forgive ourselves for those things that we are probably just unfamiliar with in the first place, that we even had a problem with in our lives. You know what I mean? So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to another amazing episode of Your Our Unity. I'd like to thank our fabulous guest, Shanay,
thank you so
for
much.
being here. I'd like to thank you and hope that you will return in 2 weeks to Your Our Unity. Please remember that you're our unity. Peace and love is in the palm of your hand. So let's go out there and just walk in love, just be in love, not only with yourself, but with others. And let's just share some love. I will see you in 2 weeks here on Your Our Unity. I want you to have a fabulous evening. And remember, I love you. We'll see you soon. Say good night,
Good
Shanay.
night. Bye.